My name is Brenda A. Gilmore, and I was 28 years old when my boyfriend told me that if I were really a woman, I would fight for him after I caught him cheating. For years, I believed stability was one of the greatest things a person could offer in a relationship. I showed up, kept my promises, stayed calm when life became difficult. I thought those qualities made me dependable. To Ethan, they eventually made me invisible. We met during our final year of college. I was completing a finance degree and already had a job offer waiting. Ethan was finishing a degree in studio art. He was magnetic. Loud, opinionated, impulsive, and messy, in the charming way creative people sometimes make chaos look romantic. I was structure. He was fire. At first, we balanced each other. When Ethan struggled between jobs, I helped with rent. I printed flyers for his first solo exhibition, bought the wine for opening night, and built a simple website for his paintings. He worked until 2 in the morning. I brought tea and rubbed his shoulders when they cramped. I thought we were building something real. A year after graduation, we moved in together. I worked full-time at a mid-sized financial firm. Ethan waited tables, completed an unpaid gallery internship, and eventually found part-time work at a boutique art space. At first, he said I made him feel safe. Then, safety became an insult. "You are too comfortable working a normal office job," he said one evening. "Do you ever want something bigger?" Another time, he watched me calmly organize our bills and muttered, "Nothing ever touches you." I assumed he was stressed. Then he met new friends at the gallery. They were younger, louder, and constantly attending pop-up exhibitions, underground shows, and parties that never included me. Ethan disappeared for hours, sometimes all night. He returned smelling of cheap beer, cigarette smoke, and incense. I kept choosing trust. Then Ava arrived. She was an independent sculptor who had recently moved from Portland. Ethan described her as fearless and misunderstood. When I met her, she barely acknowledged me. "Oh," she said softly. "You are Ethan's girlfriend." The way she said girlfriend made it sound like a temporary administrative detail. Soon, Ava's name entered every conversation. "Ava thinks I should work on larger canvases." "Ava understands what I was trying to express." "Ava and I see art the same way." Then came the phrase that mattered most. "You would not understand." Ethan started hiding his phone. He smiled at messages, then flipped the screen face down when I entered the room. When I asked directly whether something was happening, he laughed. "You are being paranoid. I thought you were more secure than this." So I backed away. But my body understood the truth before my mind accepted it. One Saturday, Ethan said he was attending a small gallery mixer. He wore fitted trousers, expensive shoes, and a jacket he had not touched in months. He returned after 2 in the morning and spent Sunday hungover and distant. Monday afternoon, a mutual friend named Jessica posted videos from a rooftop bar. In the fourth clip, Ethan was sitting beside Ava. Her hand rested on his thigh, his arm curved behind her shoulders. The video lasted only seconds. It was enough. I took a screenshot. Then I waited. For 2 days. I said nothing. Tuesday night, Ethan sat on our couch scrolling through his phone. I waited until the television credits rolled. "How is the gallery mixer?" I asked. "Boring." "Only gallery staff?" "Yes." I opened the screenshot and held the phone toward him. His expression changed. Then the defense arrived. "Are you spying on me now?" "Jessica posted it." He leaned back. "It is out of context." "Her hand was on your leg." "It was loud. We were sitting close." I kept my voice calm. "Is something happening between you and Ava?" His eyes hardened. Then he stood and said the words that ended everything. "Maybe if you made me feel alive, I would not need attention from her." Ethan's words settled between us like smoke. "Maybe if you made me feel alive, I would not need attention from her." For several seconds, I only stared at him. All the late nights I had spent supporting his work. Every bill I covered. Every rejection I helped him survive. Every cup of tea. Every website update. every reassuring lie that his next exhibition would be the one. To Ethan, none of it counted as love. It counted as management. "So you do need attention from Ava," I said. He stopped pacing. "That is not what I said." "It is exactly what you said." Ethan crossed his arms. "Ava sees me. I see you. No, Brenda, you tolerate me." His voice grew sharper with every word. "You pay bills. You organize things. You solve problems. You treat me like another item on your schedule. I supported you. You controlled everything." I almost laughed. The man who regularly asked me to cover rent was accusing me of control because I kept the electricity on. "You never complained when my control paid for your exhibitions." His face tightened. "There. That is exactly what I mean. You always bring up money. Because you always forget whose money kept us afloat." Ethan stepped closer. "Ava believes in me." "Then let her support you." He flinched. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then he smiled. It was not warm. It was the expression of someone who believed he had found the perfect weapon. "If you were really a woman," he said, "you would fight for me." The sentence was so absurd that it gave me clarity. He wanted a performance. He wanted jealousy, screaming, pleading, and proof that two women considered him worth competing over. His betrayal was not something he regretted. It was a test of how desperately I wanted to keep him. I stood slowly. Ethan's smile widened because he thought I was finally going to react. Instead, I walked to the hallway closet and pulled out my backpack. "What are you doing?" "Getting out of your way." I went into the bedroom and packed essentials. Work clothes, toiletries, documents, my laptop. Ethan followed me. "So that is it? You are just leaving?" "Yes." "No fight?" I zipped the bag. "No." He laughed bitterly. "You are proving my point. You do not care enough." I turned toward him. "Strong women do not compete with liars." His expression changed. "They walk away." "You are being dramatic." "No." I slipped the backpack over my shoulder. "I am finished." For the first time, Ethan looked frightened. "Brenda, nothing happened." "Something happened the moment you decided I was responsible for your cheating. We did not sleep together. That is not the defense you think it is." He reached for my arm. I stepped away. "I need space," I said. "You wanted someone who made you feel alive. Go be alive." I walked out. Ethan called my name from the doorway, but I did not turn around. I drove to my older sister Vanessa's apartment across town. She opened the door, saw the backpack, and moved aside without asking questions. That night, Ethan sent 2 messages. "You are overreacting. Ava and I did not sleep together. Please do not make this worse than it needs to be." I turned off my phone and slept deeply for the first time in weeks. The next morning, I transferred my portion of our shared savings into a personal account. I emailed the landlord and began removing my name from the lease. Then I rented a small 1-bedroom near my office. It had plain walls, cheap flooring, and no history. I bought a bed frame, a kettle, and a second-hand couch. The silence belonged to me. For the first week, Ethan barely contacted me. He expected me to cool down and return. By the second week, he began posting photographs with Ava, rooftop bars, gallery openings, drinks raised beneath captions about freedom and authenticity. At first, the pictures hurt. Then I remembered that I was no longer part of their performance. Slowly, the photographs changed. The group pictures disappeared. The smiling captions became vague complaints. "People always disappoint you. Some connections are meant to teach, not last." Then Jessica contacted me. "I did not know Ethan and Ava were together when I posted that video," she wrote. "I am sorry." I kept my answer short. "Thank you." Another message came. "Things are not going well. Ava is not who Ethan thought she was." According to Jessica, Ava was angry, possessive, and constantly starting fights at the gallery. She screamed whenever anyone criticized her work, and once threw a stool across the studio. 5 weeks after I left, Ethan stopped posting her completely. Then he texted me. "I have been thinking about us. Can we meet for coffee? I blocked him. 2 days later, Jessica sent another warning. Ava had smashed one of Ethan's paintings during an argument. Then she broke his laptop because he did not answer her messages quickly enough. I stared at the screen. Ethan had wanted chaos. Now chaos knew his address. For several days after Jessica told me Ava had smashed Ethan's painting and broken his laptop, I heard nothing. No texts, no new accounts, no mutual friends carrying apologies disguised as concern. The silence should have felt peaceful. Instead, it felt like the pause before someone desperate knocked on my door. 10 weeks after I left, that is exactly what happened. It was a Saturday afternoon. I had just returned from the gym with 2 bags of groceries when I saw Ethan sitting on the steps outside my apartment building. For a second, I barely recognized him. His hair was unwashed. His face looked thinner. He wore an oversized hoodie and kept rubbing his hands together as though he could not get warm. When he saw me, he stood quickly. "Brenda." I adjusted the grocery bags against my hip. "How did you find me?" "Jessica told me the neighborhood. I drove around." That answer made my stomach tighten. "You should not be here." "I know. I just need 5 minutes." I moved toward the entrance. Ethan stepped in front of the door. "Please." I looked around. A neighbor was unloading groceries from her car. Another stood on a balcony above us. I did not want a scene. "Talk." Ethan stared at the pavement. "I made a mistake." "Yes." His eyes lifted. "Ava is not who I thought she was. That is not my problem." "I know." He said the words quickly, but his face revealed that he still believed it should become my problem. "She gets angry over everything," he continued. "She yells at me in public. She says my work is weak, then blames me when her pieces do not sell." I waited. "She broke my laptop last week because I did not answer her for 20 minutes. And you came here because?" "I miss how safe I felt with you." There it was. Not "I miss you." Not "I am sorry for betraying you." He missed safety. He missed being protected from consequences. "You did not want safety," I said. "You called it boring." I was confused. "You were cruel." He flinched. "I thought Ava understood me." "And now?" "She only wants someone to worship her." I shifted the bags in my hands. "Then leave." "It is not that simple." "It was simple when you wanted me to compete for you." His face tightened. "You did not even try." I stared at him. "You still believe that is the problem? You walked away without fighting. You cheated without apologizing. We did not sleep together before you left." The defense sounded weaker now than it had in our living room. "You hid your phone, lied about where you were, let her touch you while you told me I was paranoid." Ethan's voice broke. "I know." "No. You know now because the person you chose is hurting you." Tears filled his eyes. "Can you not see that I regret it?" "I can." Hope appeared immediately. "But regret does not make you my responsibility again." The hope vanished. He stepped closer. "You said you loved me." "I did." "Past tense?" "Yes." His expression twisted. "So 3 years mean nothing?" "You threw them away." "I made one mistake." "You made a series of choices and blamed me for them." His sadness hardened into anger. "You think you are so mature." I said nothing. "You act like walking away makes you better than everyone." "No." I kept my voice calm. "It means I finally stopped volunteering for disrespect." Ethan crossed his arms. "You are cold. You wanted passion." I moved around him toward the entrance. "Now you have it." He reached for my wrist. I pulled away. "Do not touch me." His face went pale. For several seconds, neither of us moved. Then I said the thing he had never wanted to hear. "Real love does not require competition. It requires respect. You had mine. I never had yours." He opened his mouth. I continued. "You said I never made you feel anything. Now you get to feel everything you chose." I unlocked the door and stepped inside. Ethan remained on the sidewalk. I closed the door without looking back. 10 minutes later, I checked through the peephole. He was gone. A week after that, Jessica told me Ava had started another fight at a bar and broken her wrist after throwing a glass at someone. The gallery dismissed her. Ethan moved back into his parents' house. His art page disappeared. His social accounts went silent. I did not celebrate. I kept living. I earned a promotion, bought real furniture, started hiking again, slept through the night. Ethan had wanted someone unpredictable enough to make him feel alive. He found her. And when the chaos became unbearable, he returned expecting the calm woman he insulted to rescue him. But that woman no longer lived at my address. 6 months after Ethan appeared outside my apartment, I attended Tyler's wedding. Tyler had been one of our closest college friends, though Ethan had gradually pulled away from that circle because he said everyone had become too ordinary. At first, I considered declining the invitation. Then my sister reminded me that I had already surrendered enough of my life to Ethan's preferences. So I went. The ceremony was held in an outdoor garden beneath strings of warm lights. The tables were covered in simple white linen, and the music was soft enough that people could actually hear one another speak. I wore a dark blue dress and arrived alone. For the first time in years, being alone did not feel like evidence that something was missing. It felt like space. I spent the first hour talking with old friends, laughing over stories from college, and answering questions about my new position at work. At one point, someone handed me a slice of cake and said, "You seem lighter." I smiled. "I am." I was halfway through a drink when I saw Ethan near the back patio. He stood beside Jessica and another man I did not recognize. He looked thinner. Not in a healthy way. His hair had lost its shine, and his posture seemed permanently folded inward. The magnetic confidence that once filled every room had disappeared. His eyes moved across the reception until they found me. I held his gaze for 2 seconds. Then I turned back to the conversation in front of me. A few minutes later, Jessica approached alone. "Can I ask you something awkward?" "You can ask." "Ethan wants to talk to you." I took a slow sip of my drink. "He says he needs closure." "He is not looking for closure." Jessica sighed. "I know. He is looking for a reset button." She nodded reluctantly. Ava was the worst mistake of his life. She drained his savings, isolated him from everyone, and started seeing someone else before they officially ended things. That sounds difficult. He is trying to apologize to people. That is good. Jessica studied me. You really are done. Yes. She did not argue. I will tell him. The rest of the reception remained peaceful. I danced with friends, took photographs, listened to speeches about loyalty, partnership, and choosing someone every day. None of it made me bitter. It reminded me that what Ethan and I had shared at the end was not love. It was dependence on one side and resentment on the other. As the evening wound down, I stepped outside to order a car. The garden had grown quieter. Music drifted through the open doors while the cool air settled over the patio. Ethan approached from behind. "You are really not going to say anything to me?" I turned. He held a glass of wine with both hands as though it was keeping him upright. "I already said everything I needed to say." "With silence?" "Yes." His face tightened. "I thought, after all this time, we could at least talk." "We are talking." "I mean about trying again." I shook my head. "You do not miss me, Ethan." He looked wounded. "You miss the woman who made life stable while you treated stability like a flaw." "That is not fair." "It is completely fair." He swallowed. "I know what I did was wrong." "You know because it cost you something." His eyes filled. "I loved you. You loved knowing I would always clean up the mess." "I have changed." "Maybe you have." Hope flickered in his expression. "But I am not interested in testing it." His face collapsed. "You have changed too." "Yes." "Into someone cold." "No." I looked at him calmly. "I became someone who no longer confuses pity with love." My car pulled up near the entrance. Ethan stepped closer. "Do you ever think about us?" "Not the way you want me to." "Brenda, please." I picked up my bag. "You once told me that if I were really a woman, I would fight for you." He looked away. I was cruel. Yes. I did not mean it. You meant it when you believed I had nowhere else to go. I stepped toward the waiting car. I never needed to fight to prove my worth. I only needed to walk away long enough for the truth to become obvious. He stood motionless. Ava had given him the chaos he called passion. Time had given him the consequences. Neither of those things required my participation. I gave him a small nod. Nothing cruel. Nothing warm. Just final. Then I entered the car and closed the door. As we pulled away, I did not look back. Ethan was no longer a loss. He was a lesson. And I had finally learned it.